Okay, so it's now my pleasure to introduce our host and the creator of this program. And I was thinking this morning, what can I tell you that you might not already know about Andrew Ross Sorkin? So let me take through the list. For starters, he is relentless. Just ask Doug McMillon, the CEO of Walmart, who was the recipient of an open letter in the New York Times from Andrew, imploring him to use his economic leverage on the issue of gun safety after the massacre in his store in El Paso. So Andrew is relentless, and he is effective. Just ask Michael Barbaro. Michael is Andrew's colleague and the host of The Daily, who interviewed Andrew about a month later when Doug McMillon, in fact, did step in on behalf of Walmart to the gun debate. So he's relentless, he's effective. Andrew is committed. He has been working at the New York Times since 1994. Make sure everybody in the room got that. That's right, it's almost 25 years. And I know what you're thinking, how is that even possible? Is he even over 40? He can't even be 40 yet. Is it the makeup covering up all those wrinkles? Who knows? But no, in fact, the explanation is Andrew Ross Sorkin has been working at the New York Times since he was, drum roll, 18 years old. Andrew actually used to hitch a ride with his father from after the day at Scarsdale High School into the city to intern on, from what I understand, was like a near full-time basis for legendary ad columnist Stuart Elliott. And if that isn't remarkable enough in and of itself, Andrew just never stopped working at the New York Times. And by the time he graduated from college, he published, this is my favorite, 71 stories. So at the age of 22, was already more published than most early New York Times reporters. Andrew's also incredibly creative. He's among the most idea-generative people I know, which says a lot given where I work. In fact, I think he is the only New York Times employee who's made not one, but two major Hollywood productions that include Paul Giamatti, so well done on that. And of course, everybody in the room knows that Andrew is tireless when he is not writing his weekly column or his newsletter or leading convenings like this one or waking up in the wee hours to be on Squawk Box while some of you are exercising or falling into bed at night to envision the either great or horrible, depending on who you are, life of Bobby Axelrod. Andrew is doing the things that we do best at the New York Times. He is being a damn good journalist. And with that, I invite my friend and colleague, Andrew Ross Sorkin, to get things going for real. Andrew.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here. This is going to be a fabulous day. We have a lot planned, and all of you are an integral part of what we're about to do here. There are so many amazing people here. It's a bit unfair for me to point out who is, but I just want to make a mention. We have a number of congressmen and congresswomen here. We have the governor of Rhode Island here. We have a lot of formers, but big-time formers. We have some fun people who should not be sitting next to each other, but are. I want to get an Instagram of this. We have Abigail Disney here, who is sitting next to Grover Norquist. And if you understand both of their positions on taxes and wealth in America right now, it could not be a better conversation. But that's what we're trying to do here today. We're trying to bring people from both sides of the aisle, from all sorts of different dimensions together to have a discussion and to inform our coverage, and of course to produce what you're going to see next week in the New York Times, all about what we have done. I should say I'm getting all these accolades, but they're unfair. The reason we're all here is because of the rock star journalists that are going to be hosting these conversations, and I'm going to be jumping into a couple of them, but this afternoon. And I just want to point out who's with us in this room, because it is an amazing, amazing room. He's a legend. He's a friend. David Sanger is here, national security correspondent. You've been reading him for forever, and we love you, David. He's going to be leading a conversation on cybersecurity. In addition to that, Rebecca Blumenstein is here. She is the deputy managing editor of the New York Times, former bigwig at the Wall Street Journal, I should also say, a great champion of this event and of DealBook. She's a friend, and I'm thrilled to have her here. She's going to be leading a conversation about how to fix student debt. Cecilia Kang is here, In the middle of her book leave, she's our national tech correspondent. She blew the doors open on the Facebook Cambridge Analytica scandal, and she is here and going to be leading a discussion on data and privacy. Then one of the real leading journalists when it comes to the issue of climate and energy in this country, Coral Davenport, is going to be having a conversation about carbon and climate and what to do there. Jim Tankersley is here to lead what I know is going to be a raucous debate about the future of taxes in this country. And then in from Canada, where cannabis is legal, Dan Bilevsky is here to have a conversation about drugs, the future of cannabis, and what it actually means to our society. I just want to very, very briefly and quickly thank Claudia and Hutton, I don't know where you are, and Tamara, who really put this day together in a way that, and just please applaud for the journalists, but then applaud for Claudia and Tamara, because this would not have happened without them. Please applaud for Meredith, who's fabulous. And then I should also just say that the bureau chief from Washington, the Washington, D.C. bureau chief, Elizabeth B. Mueller, is here, and we're thrilled to have her. So I hope that everybody has an opportunity to get to know each other. If we do this right today, we're going to create some great content. We're going to have some great conversations, but we're going to learn from each other. And that is really the goal more than anything else. Once we have these task force conversations, we're all going to, by the way, come back into this room and have a group conversation about what it all means and maybe have a bit of a debate as well. But what we're going to do right now to begin and start this discussion, really to almost set the table for the conversations that I know so many of you are going to be having a little bit later, is I want to introduce Brad Smith up onto the stage, if I could. Brad, come on up here. Brad is the president of Microsoft, which, by the way, is the most valuable company in the world right now. But he's been, please, I think maybe I'm supposed to be on this side and you're on that side, but I maybe have ruined it. I don't know.